There we are. Welcome in. Welcome in. We do have people already coming in this morning. Welcome in, Wade, Katie. I know Michelle's there too. This is Echo Forest. Now, I met Echo Forest at Soul Search, um, Psychic Fair sort of thing, and usually in Scottsdale. I think I've seen you two places though. Anyway, I went to her, or I was drawn into her, and now I can hear the echo. If anybody can help us with this echo, please let me know. Um, I was drawn into her because of her human design mastery. She's very good at it. She works with it. She does sound healing. And you just got certified yoga teacher, is that correct?
Yes, I just did my 200-hour yoga teacher training.
And she is in India, everyone.
Yes.
So if we get a little glitches or anything else, hang in there. We'll get back together. But Echo, could you please introduce yourself to the
Yes.
chat? You can see who's on right now.
Yes, this is beautiful. Namaste, everybody. So my name is Echo Forest. Like Julie was saying, I am in India right now. I'm in Rishikesh. It's known as the yoga capital of the world. It's very beautiful, very sacred place, right on the banks of the Ganga River. It's really, really sacred river that runs through the town. I am 39 years old. I was from Austin, Texas originally, is where I was born and raised. And yeah, I'm a sound healer and also a human design specialist. So I do these things full time back where I live in Sedona, Arizona. I've been there for 3 years, practicing full time. I also teach meditation. I do cacao ceremonies. I do energy clearings. I'm also a Reiki master. So I do a lot of holistic wellness offerings back in Sedona, but I'd say primarily my two big things that I do are sound healing and human design, and they're both kind of my biggest passions.
And Wade is asking if you did you take dream yoga training?
Um, so that's a very interesting question, actually. So I was in a 200-hour Hatha Ashtanga Vinyasa training. So basically Hatha and then Ashtanga Vinyasa. But I also added another additional course, which was Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra is known as psychic sleep. So I kind of want to say yes to your question, but I'm not entirely clear on what you're talking about. But if you're talking about Yoga Nidra, then yes, so I did also get certified to teach Yoga Nidra, and because I also hold meditations, and that's been a big part of my practice for many years, adding that to my schedule, which made my schedule just so intense for the 3.5 week training. But it was just incredible, and so that was actually a big highlight for me during the training.
And if you would like a reading in the second half of the show um, on human design, please do your chart ahead of time. Now, where should they go to get their free chart?
Okay, so the one I would first recommend is geneticmatrix.com.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Um,
Genetic matrix with an X, right?
yes, with an
Matrix.com.
X. That's the program I use personally, but you can also just go into your search engine and type in free human design report, and you can really use any program to generate your free chart.
Okay. So hopefully that helps. If you go ahead and do that. Hello, Great Quartz. Um, we have people all over the world coming in. You're in India. Great Quartz is in South Africa.
Wow,
And Victor just came in. He's from Sweden. So
amazing.
we're all over.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah, and so when you do get your chart done, if you can take a picture of it and send it to my email, I'm going to go ahead. Which email do I want to put down? Um, okay. Sorry if something just popped up and I don't need it. I'm going to have you guys go to Love Riot Warriors. It's easier that way. That way my personal one doesn't get out. And I have a bunch of spam coming in. So, email.com. So I'll put that in there. Go ahead and send it the email there, and I will grab the pictures, download them, and then post them up on Restream, so she'll be able to read it. If you can do that now, it'll save us some time, and we'll be able to get to you. Because if you have it ready, it's gonna it's gonna make life so much easier for us. Okay, and you have an hour to get it done, so you have plenty of time. Let's see. Any other questions? Where's Victor? Victor's in Sweden, Great Courts. He's here. Yeah, Victor always comes in and says, love your dame self. Yeah, here it is. So when they do come in and they have a question, other than I didn't pull up Wade's, I will put it over here so you can see it. And Jess says she is a projector. That sounds familiar, Jess. So much. Okay. And Jess is in Tennessee.
Oh, great.
And I'll just put near Nashville. And Brenda is in Houston area. Wade is here in the Phoenix area. Yeah, anybody else? I just want to get you to know a little bit about Katie's in Missouri, about who's coming in. So we've got people. Ha ha ha. It's too strong. What's too strong, Great Courts? Okay. All right. So that's what you did with yoga, but you're still there right now. So
Yeah.
how did you get to where you're at? I mean, you went to Austin, but you found yoga at age, what was it, 16?
Age 16, yes, that was when I found yoga, when yoga found me. That was when I started practicing.
And now this was the first class that you took,
This was my
official
first teacher training that I've
teacher.
done. So, yes, I've been practicing for 23 years. My practice has not always been consistent. I've gone long stretches without practicing yoga. Um, it was actually kind of brought on by a yoga studio in Scottsdale.
Oh,
Actually, after the January Soul Search Psychic Fair, I just randomly stopped into a yoga studio to do yoga before I went back up to Sedona. Um, just happy to share the plug. It's modern yoga, and it was very intense. It was only lightly heated, like heated to 83 to 85 degrees, so not as hot as hot yoga, which is too hot for me, but hot enough to get like a really good sweat in and make the body like really loose. And
hmm.
his style of teaching, it happened to be John Salisbury, who owns the studio. The teaching was amazing. There were 50 to 60 people in the class, very loud music. They use a microphone. And I just felt myself like deepening into my practice again. And in Sedona, we have only two yoga studios, and one of them is a hot yoga studio. So,
Um,
quite limited. And I didn't realize like how much I had been missing access to like good yoga. And so I actually had a 10 class pack through Groupon, very affordable. And for about 7 to 8 weeks, I drove 2 hours from Sedona to Scottsdale once a week to do yoga at Modern Yoga. It was that good. And I almost moved to Scottsdale to do a yoga teacher training with that studio. And it was right before busy season in Sedona. And so it just wasn't the right time for me. And I get really busy with my work in Sedona, like during the spring and early summer. But it just kind of sparked that desire to dive deeper into my practice through a yoga teacher training. And that's my first intention, was to just come back to self, dive deeper into my own practice within yoga, and then also to add another tool, at some point start teaching, adding it to like a repertoire for like future retreats that I plan to hold and such. And then I figured, like, why not just, I always leave in the summer. Last summer, I went to Mount Shasta for 3 months because I don't do the desert in the summer; it's too hot for me. And I figured, why not go to the where yoga originated and like get out of the country and study yoga there, like from the original source. So here I am.
And John Salisbury, I wrote his name. Hopefully I spell it right. Um, but what was the name of the studio there in Scottsdale?
It's called modern yoga.
Modern Yoga. You did say that, but I want to make sure that was the name of the
Uh-huh.
Modern Yoga. Okay, so that plug in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes.
AZ. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat so everybody sees it. And so, Wade, if you want a different place to go, then you're wherever you're doing the Dream Yoga, Scottsdale. Now, Wade is on the west side. He's in Tolleson area, so
Okay.
it's a little bit far for you, but it's not as far as it is for her to get to and from Sedona. So
Right. Like, good two
okay,
hours.
yeah. But you also studied sound healing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you?
Yes. Sure. Yeah. So sound healing and Reiki, I began my trainings in both modalities in the fall of 2018, back in Austin, Texas. And I had sat in my very first ayahuasca ceremony at the very beginning of 2017, seeking healing from PTSD. And I dove really, really deep into that path through, sacred plant medicine and ceremony. And it was actually my first sit with grandmother with ayahuasca that led me to study sound healing and to study Reiki. I actually heard these frequencies that would pierce my skull from right to left every time, and it was the most divine, crystalline sound I'd ever heard, and very multidimensional. I was seeing it, I was feeling it, I was hearing it. I almost felt like I was it, and it was actually piercing through, cutting through the music in the sound in the room that was playing. And the next sit, I was sitting for the first year and a half. I sat every 3 months, and the next sit, it was like a range of frequencies, and then it would just expand and become these incredible, like multidimensional sounds that I can't even put words to. And then I sat in my first holographic sound healing session, the same that spring of 2017, and on in a completely sober state, I felt like I was back in an ayahuasca ceremony. I felt different chakras lighting up. I felt energy flowing through my body. I was seeing colors and patterns and visuals. And after that, I was like hooked. And a little over a year later, I ended up training with her same teacher. So my first modality of sound is holographic sound. I have since done another sound healing training as well. Um, and yeah, I the holographic sound is phenomenal. I actually channel. I use vocal toning to channel multidimensional beings called the Hathors, which were pre-Egyptian. They had a heavy influence in creating Egypt. But I work with a lot of different light beings as well, and I channel them through vocal toning alongside the crystal bowls. And I work with holographic sacred geometry to clear and cleanse all of the chakras and reinfuse them with new color. I clear the pranic tube and the aura, and it's a really beautiful experience for most people. It tends to be, I like to call it a journey through the cosmos because it tends to feel like a very deep, cosmic, multidimensional experience for people.
And Kevin said, "Oh, sister, you actually are it." I asked him to explain a little bit more on that, but he was saying that he just pulled his chart and that it tells him he is an emotional manifesting generator. And if you're calling her your sister, she is also.
Yes, I'm
You want
also
to?
an emotional manifesting generator, 6'2" profile.
Yeah. You mean she's legit? Yes, she is.
Oh, it's so funny. I read that as lights. Flares. Great. Thank you. I
You
appreciate
are light too. You are that as well. But yeah, and Jess, like I said, is in Tennessee. Kevin is in New York. And yes, Jamie, you are in Utah. So I hope you're doing well, Jamie. I know you've been through a lot. But I'm always thinking of you. And yeah, so oh they're popping in a lot of stuff. Our cosmic
it.
origin in Sedona 2 weeks ago.
Sounds like a cool.
And um, yeah, they have a lot of questions. They're really popping up. There was one other thing. Oh, this is what Wade said earlier, is that he uses Reiki before he does his dream yoga. So are you a teacher in dream yoga, or how are you connected with dream yoga other than practicing? And do you practice on your own, or do you go to a studio here? All those questions, Kevin. But I mean, Wade, sorry about that. Let's see what the experience of seeing, feeling, and hearing light. You are the light. Ah, yes. And Don is in too. Don Scottsdale. You probably have seen Don. You might not know who Don is, but I know you've seen him. He goes to most of those fairs, and we have our own market. Okay, so talk yoga and sand healing. So, do you have a studio in Sedona that you practice from?
I don't have my own studio. I work at a couple of resorts in Sedona.
Okay.
And I also work for a private retreat company doing just human design readings. At the resorts, I do sound healing, human design readings. I teach meditation. I do energy clearings, cacao ceremonies. But again, primarily human design and sound healing. Although when I go back, it will shift and I'll add some of these modalities that I've learned here. And then I also get pulled into other people's retreats. So I've done a lot of work in women's retreats. Even I took a group of men out onto the land and we did a whole like experience out on the land at one point. But yeah, I'll either do a sound healing in a retreat setting or a human design workshop, which is really fun in a retreat setting, especially when everyone knows each other. And then in the future, maybe even this winter, I plan to start holding my own retreats around like human design for sure, bringing in sound healing, but essentially kind of understanding your own energy and also bringing in like energy protection tools, energy clearing tools, um, different modalities to just kind of come back to self, understanding your energy, understanding your conditioning, understanding the exchange of energy between yourself and others. Um, so yeah, I don't have my own studio yet, but we'll see what the future holds.
Well, if you're doing these retreats and all, it might be better that you continue where you're at. I mean, with the resorts and all, because that way you don't have to be concerned about this brick and mortar
Right.
space while you're doing other things.
Right. And it's, in Sedona, it's a lot. Sedona is very expensive just to even live and
Yes.
exist in. So I actually have been there for 3 years, and Sedona is a very intense, challenging place to live. Honestly, my experience is that it feels like living in an ayahuasca ceremony 24/7. And when I leave, like I leave consistently, whether that's Flagstaff or the Valley or Cottonwood or whatever, but that's when I get like the integration. But it feels like kind of being slammed headfirst into your inner work. It's just rapid spiritual growth, and I don't really believe that's meant to be for a long time period. So I have been actually feeling into a calling to like close the chapter on Sedona. So I don't have any specific plans yet, but I feel like throughout the rest of my time in India, and I'll be going to Bali for a month after this, more clarity will come, and it might just be time to relocate somewhere else in the US as like my home base.
And Don is asking, can you explain human design if you have not yet covered it? I know you
Yes.
covered it somewhat. We did talk about if you want to do a human design chart, you can do that, Don. And it's geneticmatrix.com. I have it back in the in the chat, so you can look at that. And Kevin's already done his. I don't know if he did his before. I have a feeling it's an older version, which is fine. It doesn't usually change. Okay, that's vortex energy. That's making that happen in Sedona. Okay. Yeah, now I know you have explained it, but I know it takes a lot of different, best way I can say it, modalities to come together for the human design. So can you explain that?
Yes. So human design is basically a tool that gives you your energetic blueprint. It tells you how your core energies are designed to function and flow and move through this life. It tells you where you're taking in your conditioning, where you take in energy from others and feel it as if it's yours, and tells you things like how you're designed to make your decisions and how you know what's right and wrong for you in any decision based on the wisdom of the body. So human design at its core is an alchemical synergy of tropical astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Kabbalah tree of life, the Hindu energy centers, and quantum physics. So all of these things synergized together is a unique system and modality that is all about energy, your core energetic wirings, and most of us at any given time are operating from our conditioning. And often we don't realize how deeply our conditioning goes, right? And so we're taught to do a certain way, to be, to act, to think, to speak a certain way, right? To move through life in a certain way that is oftentimes not in alignment with how we're energetically wired. So human design is here to be like a practice. So when you start following it and living in alignment with your design, you see that life starts flowing more smoothly and harmoniously, and we're met with less resistance. And it's a practice that takes time. It goes in 7-year cycles. So over time, as we, like everything in life, right? But over time, we start releasing our conditioning and start coming more and more and more into alignment with our true self and our core energetic blueprints.
And uh, Jess has a couple questions. I'll go back to her other one. Everyone has gates within them that they can access, correct?
Yeah, so there's 64 gates in the human design system. That's going to be all the tiny little numbers that you see inside of the centers. The centers are all the shapes. There's 9 energy centers in the system. So the 64 gates correlate to the 64 hexagrams of the Chinese I Ching. They're also connected to the astrology as well. And so when a gate is defined, meaning it is colored in and it has either a black or a red line coming out of it on the chart, that energy is fixed and consistent and it will show up consistently for you, right? And same with the centers that are colored in. That energy is fixed and consistent and reliable. And same with the channels, which are going to be all the lines in the chart. They're similar to the nadis. They're like pathways of energy flowing through the system. So if it is fully colored in, either red or black, that means that energy shows up consistently. Like it's consistent, you have consistent access to it.
Okay. And I don't know if he's making a statement or a question. So does it have to do with DNA upgrades as well?
Sure. I mean, I'm I feel like honestly, like the more I dive into human design, like personally, I feel like I get DNA upgrades. And similar, there's another branch that kind of, if anyone is familiar with the gene keys, this was created based on the 60 gates of human design. So you can take your chart and look at all the gates you have defined, and then take the gene keys book and look up. That gate, and it will give you the different frequencies. It'll give you the shadow frequency, the gift frequency, and then the Siddhic frequency as well.
All right. And going back to Sedona real quick, because these came in while you were explaining. Sedona seems to be a powerful energetic area. I have been called to that place for several years, though I don't know why. Well, come and discover, Kevin. It's not like you don't have people out here you can hang out with. So come on out. Even though Echo won't be here for a while. Okay. Is there anywhere in the U.S. that you feel drawn to?
Yeah, I was feeling into Portland, Oregon for a while because I really miss Austin and the vibe, the community there, but I don't feel too keen on being in the middle of Texas. And I love the nature of the Pacific Northwest, but I didn't have anything calling me there, right? So um, as a manifesting generator or generator type, like I'm designed to make my decisions in response to an outside stimulus that comes to me, right? So for me to say, oh, I really want to move to Portland, and then to take action on that, um, it's not going to end well for me if I do that. I can, and that's part of the experiment, but likely there's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of walls, a lot of anger for me. So right before I left the country, I actually went up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have a cousin there who got ordained as a priest and went to go support. My parents went up for it, and I went, and it was my first time to ever spend time in Minneapolis, and I loved it. I loved the vibe, and I was kind of feeling it out as like, like could this be a potential place to move? Because there was something outside of me that actually physically took me there. I'm not sure I could hack the winters, but just like in Sedona, I have to live the summers. So I really like the vibe there. I love like it's so diverse. There's such a like diverse ethnicities there, and the vibe feels like a mix between Austin and Chicago. Um, Years ago, I lived in Chicago after college for a bit, um, but yeah, I don't know. It was interesting to feel into. So Minneapolis is on my radar. I don't have anything further that is like actually pulling me to physically move there. So
Okay. And Don says, my son lived in Bali for 6 months and will be headed to Peru next. He is drawn to places which call to him as well. And he would love to eventually take a home base in Washington State. So, and as soon as you said Bali, I thought of his son as well, because I know he'd been there and he really enjoyed it. And compared to the prices in India, I think you'll be very surprised because they're very cheap. He'd show us he's paying like $1 for something and it gets this huge meal. So it was fantastic.
beautiful.
So, um, let's see. Okay, he's Don's going to send me his chart, but we're going to do that in the second half of the show. Um, I know you came in a little bit late. There was another question I thought. Oh, have you been to Santa Fe? That was my question for you.
Oh, no, but I have wanted to. I've had several clients from Santa Fe. I have a lot of friends who have either lived there, gone through there. I haven't spent a lot of time in New Mexico, but I would be very interested in checking out Santa Fe.
And when you were talking about the Northwest, and I thought she needs to be more centralized, but she needs more trees. And Santa Fe popped in my head, so that's why I'm suggesting Santa Fe at least to look at,
Yeah.
because you don't have to be in the cold all the
Hmm.
time. I mean, it
Yes.
might get cold there, but I know driving south to Las Cruces or something else, I mean, it's so much warmer. And but
Yeah.
you're still going to be in the trees and not in the desert directly. So that'll
Beautiful.
be
Yeah.
good.
Thank you for that.
What pops up, I have to explain.
Yes.
And when we're on here, I feel I'm given permission to. So it's not that I was invading, I was just given that
Yes.
information. I don't like to do that. So, yeah, all these different places that people are popping up and asking questions. Oh, okay. Yes, they're having a Native American annual event, one of the biggest in the world. Don, a friend of mine's going to be there, um, and he's going to be he's an artist there, and he'll be painting a wall with another friend. They're going to do music and painting, and he calls his friend his partner in rhyme, not crime, but rhyme. So hopefully you'll see him there. His name is Jeremy. So yeah, I'll send you information. So if you see him, stop by and tell him I said hello. Okay, is often compared to Sedona. Yes, to me, it's the
Mm,
spiritual capital of New Mexico.
mm.
I've been there, but only once. It was beautiful. But okay, okay, all right. So I have an email. So, what other questions do you guys have? Let me see. So, we've been back and forth to all of these different subjects. Let's see. And I know there's echo. So if you guys have a way of fixing this echo, let me know, Dawn. Um, anyways, okay. So the ceremony, yeah, the ceremony got you into Reiki and sound healing. So how is Reiki working for you these days?
Reiki just weaves into everything that I do. I also took last year, I tend to do at least one big training a year. So last year I took a year long Reiki training, even though I was attuned to the master level in Usui Reiki at the beginning of 2019. I took a year long program with a woman in Canada. Her name is Priscilla Campos. She's known as the Atlantean Priestess. She teaches from Golden Atlantis and has a year long program. It's called Cosmic Conscious Reiki. So she attunes to Usui Reiki as well. It's kind of just like the foundation, the original form of Reiki. And then she works with a lot of galactic energy. So it's just totally my vibe, right? Totally my speed. And so we worked with a lot of different healing tools from the Pleiadians, from the Arcturians, from the Sirians. The Orions. I learned a lot about different galactic starseed roots of mine. Specifically, Mintaka is a big one that came through, which is a fully water world. It's one of the stars in Orion's belt. So I have a really deep connection with water and mermaid energy. And half my whole life, I grew up actually on a lake just outside of Austin, Texas, Lake Travis. So always in the water my whole life. And the Cosmic Conscious Reiki is just phenomenal, and so I practice Reiki on myself every day. It's just kind of woven into the sound healing as well. Some of these practices I was incorporating into my sessions before I left Sedona. Um, and yeah, sometimes I do vibrational therapy sessions, which is what I actually offer at the psychic fairs in addition to human design. So that's where I have just it's one-on-one session. I have the client on a massage table, and I work with Himalayan metal bowls that are placed on the body and struck. So you're really feeling the vibrations deep in the body. And I do a chakra attunement with the chakra tuning forks and work with a lot of like deep drumming over the body. It's more about how you're really feeling the vibrations. And so when I'm in a one on one session like that, I'm incorporating a lot more like consciously using the Reiki tools a lot. In the group sessions, it's still just kind of woven in, but it's a little bit more in the background.
Okay. Questions keep popping up. Oh, sorry, wrong one. This one I was trying to get up. What is the modality which calls you the most? How did you find your way to metaphysics?
Hmm. Yeah, excellent question. Yeah, I mean, the holographic sound healing is what I do the most. I've done it at a lot of festivals. Actually, I held also I think four sessions at Burning Man last year, and we had a really high vibe sound camp and sound healing every day. But that one is just really powerful and really profound. And like, I'll have clients who have had a lot of sound healing before, and they come and they just have a very profound experience. And there's just something to be said for the modality of holographic sound healing and the specifics of it. And it is so multidimensional, and it's so powerful. And so I think that's maybe my preferred modality. Um, and it's also just so fun. I feel like I kind of tend to enter into an altered state myself in just like holding the container of that space. And it's just so beautiful to hear like people's experiences in that session. Working at the resorts, I have a lot of clients who have never experienced sound healing. I'd say at least 80% of them. And so it's really interesting to introduce them, and it's an interesting setting. I feel like it's actually kind of time to expand further out of that setting, because sometimes I think the energy can be a little bit too much for people who are not yet like, spiritually open or attuned in a certain way. But yeah, it's unique, it's fun, it's beautiful, it's very galactic and multidimensional.
So it's almost like you need something in between for those people.
um I kind of feel, yeah, like a standard sound bath,
Okay.
um, would be a little bit different. Like not as intense. Like I've had some people who, like I've not trained in Kundalini awakenings, but from my perspective of watching them, it almost looks like they're having some type of Kundalini awakening. Like some people, like it's very common for the body to be twitching during a sound healing or Reiki session. That's just energy flowing and coursing, and moving. But some people are just like jolting, like almost like they look like they're having a seizure on the floor sometimes. And often it's common for people to feel like they're in a medicine ceremony, like come out and be like, wow, I just feel like I took a bunch of mushrooms, like, or some type of psychedelics, and that was my experience as well, right? Feeling like I was back in an ayahuasca ceremony. So, um, yeah, it's a very deep and profound experience. And for some people, they just fall asleep, right? And for some people it's a lighter experience. It all depends on like where someone is at, and how much their energy and soul is ready to like open in the experience.
And it's funny you talked about ayahuasca ceremony because my question from Kevin is, did you ever dabble with psychedelics prior to ayahuasca?
A little bit. There was maybe, I think, 3 occasions where I had taken psilocybin mushrooms, more in like a festival setting, a river float on someone's birthday. But I had at the time what I considered very negative experiences. I'd say maybe there were 4 or 5, I'd say, psychedelic experiences, but I didn't understand that energy, and I didn't understand what was happening and what was really happening. And often when people say like, oh, I had a bad trip or something like that, is like, psilocybin is actually chemically very similar to ayahuasca. And so what's happening is like our shadows are surfacing, and healing is taking place. But if we're not in the right container, we're not in the right mindset going in, we don't have like an intention we've set, we're around a bunch of strangers and maybe people who are consuming things like alcohol, which are like, really not very beneficial for the system. Like it can be really difficult. If you like, I didn't really understand what was happening. I felt like, oh my God, I just spent 12 hours like in a very self deprecating state and like very self critical and self judgmental, but it was like shadows that were surfacing to be healed. But I had no idea that that is what was happening. So after I started working with ayahuasca and its ceremony, then I started working with other psychedelics in the same way. And even if like I love the festival scene. The festival scene, especially in Arizona, is amazing. The regional burn there is amazing. And like conscious festivals, right, where there's also yoga and sound healing and ecstatic dance and things like that happening. And I will work with certain like altering substances, but and I might be in more of a, maybe it seems like a party vibe, but like I'll set my intention. And I know, like I've facilitated ceremony for other people as well. I make actually psilocybin chocolates with ceremonial cacao as well. That's been a passion of mine for many years, kind of a thing I do on the side. But I know how to hold myself, and I know when something is coming up and I need to go lie down and cover my eyes and listen to spiritual music and just like process whatever is like coming up for me to like process and heal. And when I move through that, then it's like, oh, okay, let's go dance, right? Because dancing also is like movement, right? Ecstatic dance, we're moving the body, we're moving energy, we're moving emotions through the body, right? So it's like healing can take place in so many different ways, in so many different forms, and so much of it comes down to like awareness and intention, you know.
Okay, I'm going to follow up. Onessa, welcome in. I'd love to talk to you. What we're doing today is human design and other things, but human design in the second half of this interview. And in order to do that, you would have to do a chart on geneticmatrix.com or any other free human design website. Do a chart and you send it to loveriotwarriors@gmail.com, and we'll put that up and do a message from that. So we can do it, but we would have to do that um, through the charts. And Don, if you're still on, didn't answer, but I didn't receive it on my regular email. So if you can send that again, I appreciate it. Okay, back to Kevin. I went to Burning Man in 2007 and had a life path reading. I noted in my journal when I came back to that journal a few years back that reading all made sense and was a mind-blowing revelation. The magical is the land or the people? Both. I would say both.
Yeah, I agree. Burning Man
I've
is
never been, so
place.
let me say. Okay. I'm checking to see if I received the email. Oh, maybe I have it in here. No, still don't have it in my regular one. Okay. Hello, Rachel. Welcome in. Rachel is from Scotland. So more people all over the world. Okay. So what was your experience? I understand the ceremonies and stuff. So are you planning on going back to um, Burning Man? Are you planning on that?
Yeah, not this year. I'll still be in India. Burning, I've been twice. I went in 2020. Wait, no, what was it? It was 2022. Yes, it was the first year I lived in Sedona. So in 2022 and then 2024. So Burning Man to me feels like an every other year type of event currently. Like last year, I was so gung ho and like, yes, I'm going back. If anyone's going this year, Soundgarden is amazing. I camped with them last year. Very high vibe, high frequency DJs and beautiful dance floor, and it's prime placement, like right on. Well, last year was like right on two and G, so we're just looking right out at Playa. It was so great, but it's a big investment. It's a big undertaking. It's a big, very intense experience. And personally, I started going to regional burns in Texas in 2018. And regional burns take place all over the world, and they're connected to the org, and they're based on the same 10 or 11 principles if you're in Arizona. And they're just smaller. They're like usually about, I think, 1,200 people on average. In Austin, there was one that had 3,500, and they also had Texas has like 4 or 5 regional burns, so you can be burning all year long. But there was one that had 400 people, right? So you're getting these different experiences of like having the same system, the same like agreements in place, right? The same principles, but in a smaller setting where it feels a bit more manageable than like 80,000 people, right? It's more easier to like, for me, I'm like a social butterfly in these spaces, and like it's easier to like hop around and like pop into all the different camps and like get to know many different people. Um, so yeah, if you're not ready for like that big experience, or it's like too much of a financial investment, like finding the regional burn near you or in your state or your country might be a good alternative.
Wow. And you said they have one in Arizona.
Uh-huh. Yep,
When
it's
does
called.
that usually? We've tried that already, Don. Yeah, we've done the echo cancellation. You did have echo cancellation on, right?
Yes.
And- okay. I'm going to go back to mine and make sure mine is off. Yeah, mine's off too. I mean, my echo cancellation is on. See your chart. Okay. Still working on receiving charts. So has anybody else sent me their chart? Because if you have, I haven't received any, and I'd love to get them in. We're going to be starting soon. Okay. And so you just one more check. So on your settings, it is highlighted, right? It's blued out
It's
on
blue.
your, okay, good.
Let's see, I'll just, yep, echo cancellation is blue
Okay.
and noise suppression as well.
Okay. Yeah. So we did. Okay. I'll check that one. Thank you. So I've got Kevin and I've got Jess. All right. And I will be pulling that up to. All right. So what other questions do we have here? I'm bouncing around to so many things that it's been fun. Oh, here we go. What did you have? Kevin, I just saw what you put in there. Oh, there he is. I can't with lamplighters. I wanted to be right in the middle of it, I guess. But I think it's something one graduates from and only needs a maintenance dose now and again.
Yeah, that's so cool. I actually wanted to volunteer with the lamplighters and like light the lamps one night, but I didn't make it to it. So there's really kind of no point in planning things at Burning Man for the most part. But yeah, I know some people who go every single year, you know, and for like decades, right? There are those like really dedicated burners. Um, but yeah, it all just depends also on like what you're looking for, and you know, everyone has different intentions for being there as well, different experiences they're there to have. But yeah, I'm a big proponent of the regional burns because they're just so much more manageable and smaller and more intimate. Um, yeah.
And is the energy from the people, I know the land has energy too, but at Burning Man, is it overwhelming to you?
Oh, there's definitely overwhelming times for sure. I my first year I went with a burner group from Phoenix, and the guy who runs it, his name is Ian, and he has two art cars. So one is it's Mojop, it's movement of Jaw people. So it's this two-story art car that's like Rastafarian themed, and they play reggae music. And there's a big lion face on the front with a tongue that you can sit on. But that was a really fun experience to be on the second story of um, an art car where we're driving all around Playa because, mind you, it's like 2 miles from one end to the other. So that's a long bike ride, or an even longer walk as well in the desert, right? And yeah, that I felt like was really nice to be able to have some separation between myself and like the sea of like utter chaos of 80,000 people. And I also felt a lot of almost like decision, what is the term where you have like option paralysis, right? Where I'd be riding my bike and be like have 10 seconds to decide if I want to stop into a camp here, because also look at the sea of like 80,000 people in front of me and like thousands of other options for like where to go, what to do. Yeah, it can definitely be very overwhelming, but I think for myself, like I already had a good history of going to the regional burns and going to like other types of like conscious festivals. Um, but yeah, I think kind of it's important to know how to take care of yourself in those settings and to have like your basic needs met and to know when enough is enough and to know when to like stop partying and go lay down if you need to.
Yeah. Um, I have the chart. Could you guys send it? I know you sent it as a PNG, but it's coming up huge, Jess. And I'm working on saving that. Ah, no, I didn't want that. Okay, let me get back to. Okay. So, what other questions we got? Being more intimate. Uh, Now, Kevin, have you been to a regional one? If so, what was your experience? General Matrix. Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah. Um, we've just got a few more minutes. However, did you want to talk to him about your experience in India just a little bit more? I have to pull these charts up, so I'm going to need a little bit of time. So whatever you want to talk about as far as that's concerned.
Sure. Yeah, so it's my first time coming to India. It was a good 12 and a half hour time difference from Sedona. Um, and yeah, it was my first time actually traveling that far by myself. You know, I came here by myself. I've been here for exactly 7 weeks today. Um, Part of me can't believe I've been here that long, but like also since I arrived, like just even within the first week, I felt like I had been here for a month. Like I've been experiencing a very interesting time distortion. Um, the training itself was very intense. And I will say also, we had this whole conversation before we got on here that India has been very unexpected in many ways, and in many ways, very expected, right? Like, I knew India was going to be just full on. I am also a very sensitive being, very sensitive to energies, very sensitive to like stimulation, noise, light, sounds, like certain people's energies, right? Although also being able to like go to Burning Man and have those experiences, like I know I can handle a lot, right? And other things in my past as well, like I can handle a lot. But I just knew India was going to be like full on. And mind you, I've only been in Rishikesh, so Rishikesh is like a little spiritual hub and kind of bubble, but yes, everything is very loud here. There's lots of honking and beeping. There's the roadways are just very chaotic. Um, on my first scooter ride, I thought I was going to die like every 5 seconds. And after I got the first one under my belt, and the next one was like easy peasy and a piece of cake. Like as long as I'm riding with someone who's Indian, like I feel like I trust their driving skills. Like I feel like I mean, and I haven't yet been to Bali, right? I'll be going next month, but I feel like Indians are the best drivers in the world. The way they navigate very narrow streets and come very, very, very close within inches of like hitting things and people and animals. There are cows and dogs everywhere, and I personally have a very strong affinity for cows. I was actually a vegan for almost 14 years. Not anymore, but I was, and I was an activist for like all of my 20s. But yeah, the cows are one of my favorite things in India. And so I primed myself. I watched a ton of YouTube videos and I spent a good amount of time like I was watching videos about all the slums in India because I wanted to find the most shocking thing to see before coming and experiencing it in person. And so yeah, and even that was like I was still always struck by like how kind and friendly the people seemed in those videos. But um, yeah, the chaos of it, the loudness, the certain smells, certain sounds, all of that I was anticipating. And yeah, we were having this whole chat beforehand. Like the thing that I was not expecting was to fall in love with a person. I felt like I would fall in love with India for sure. Kind of part of me was like, am I going to come back from India? I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, ended up meeting someone my very first night in town unexpectedly, who lives here and owns a cafe here on the other side of the river, and very quickly fell in love and had this almost 7 week whirlwind romance that happened here. And yeah, then also went through very intense heartbreak, unfortunately, starting a couple days ago. So I told her, I was like, I'm not sure where my energy is, but I know I can still like show up and do this interview, and feels good to like step back into work. But yeah, I didn't expect to fall in love and then experience heartbreak in India. But ultimately, I tend to see everything through certain spiritual lenses, and seeing like the bigger picture and seeing how like incredible and beautiful the soul connection and the heart connection was with this man is with this man, but like also seeing the differences the places where we weren't meeting each other and weren't aligning, and um, seeing also that it was kind of like pulling me off track in terms of what I wanted to experience here. So after the training, I thought, of course, I would stay. I was planning actually to stay in Rishikesh the whole time, maybe go to Dharamshala. It's going to be too rainy up there though, and I thought I would just like stay and see what happens, and also stay at like an ashram. Like I really wanted an ashram experience, to do karma yoga for a couple of weeks and just be in an ashram setting and dive deeper into my spiritual practices, dive deeper into the spiritual practices here, learning more, expanding more, connecting with the land. And I've been saying for 7 weeks now, like, I didn't come here for a relationship. Like, this is great and it's been great love and great companionship and like wonderful, but like, this isn't what I came here for. But at the same time, like, obviously it happens. My soul like led me to him on my very first night in India, and I was looking for a different cafe actually and couldn't find it, and just ended up going right into his. And so it was a very synchronistic, beautiful, like soul led meeting and connection. And yeah, it's been a very intense experience of heartbreak as well. And so it's like with everything, we have to accept the contrast and the duality, right? And that's one thing I'm actually seeing in Rishikesh here is there's a striking duality. There's like such incredible light and spirituality, and then there's like a density here and a darkness here, and there's like the tourist industry and the yoga industry, like of all the yoga schools, and there's interesting like duality within the idea of like the spirituality is just so deeply embedded, right? Like everyone is doing their sadhanas, going to the temples, doing pujas, and the Ganga Arti. There are blessings for the Ganga, like on the river in many different places. Every single evening, it's like a blessing and ceremony for this sacred water. And then you get a couple towns further down, and it's like it's known as actually the most polluted river in the world. So it's wild to also see just how dirty the streets are, right? There's cows everywhere. Some of them belong to people, some of them don't. And of course, I love interacting with cows. They're lovely beings, but then they're also like, pooping and peeing all over the place. And same with the dogs. Right? So you have the very dirty streets, but you go into any temple and it is like pristine and so clean. And I know also with the yoga schools, like, people buy Google reviews. You can buy a Google review for 100 rupees, someone told me, which is just a little over $1 US. I spent 6 weeks researching yoga schools here. It was so intense before I decided on which one to come to. Every single school says that they are the best yoga school in Rishikesh. Like, it's just there are some interesting practices that happen that don't feel like fully in alignment. And so, that's how it's going to be everywhere. But I think in these spiritual hubs, like I see it a lot in Sedona too, the duality is like magnified. And we live in a dualistic world, right? So that's just part of it. And so, the relationship too, it's like accepting and embracing and just surrendering to the whole experience of like falling in love and having this beautiful experience with someone to then also like experiencing the pain and the depth of like heartbreak and loneliness, and then also just coming to more of the silver lining and the awareness of like, oh, okay, now I'm shifting my focus and now I'm recognizing like what I wanted to come here for, right? And now I'm making plans to leave Rishikesh and to go visit other parts of the country, and either stay at an ashram or a really beautiful eco village that is based on bhakti yoga and kirtan. So yeah, it's been very unexpected in many ways, and also a lot of things were exactly what I expected with India.
Great. And and you've got Bali in a oh finally. Sorry, they finally came through, so Don's did. I have Jess's already, but usually I take a minute, at least a minute or 2 minute break. Do you need a break or are you ready to read?
Sure, I think like 1 or 2 minutes would be good.
Okay, let me go ahead and do that while I'm working on this. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Sorry, a little over the time. Still working on that. And Kevin has, I'm going to pull these up because they're a little larger. What I do. I admire your resilience in the wake of love's heartbreak. I believe I have had that very same experience. You don't need me to tell you, but you are the correct mindset, the most important thing. Love that, Kevin.
Thank you.
And Kevin does, we do have a Tuesday night class, and Kevin does come every once in a while to our Tuesday night class. Our Tuesday night class, Echo, is on Zoom. So we
Okay.
just practice, and it's not really a class, it's just practice sessions. Is your path and you are there, you will be fine. Focus inward, it heals. Thank you, Kevin. And Kevin has been online as well. He did readings on a Sunday. Usually Jess does, but Kevin came in. Oh, I already pulled that up. Okay. So I've got Jess. Okay. She's so excited. I'm going to move me over and get her chart. This is Jess's chart. Okay. I don't know if you can read it. It's pretty small. Dang it. I probably should.
Yeah.
I'm going to forward the email to you as well. That way you can see it and
Actually,
everyone can see it offline.
I made
Okay,
the screens full screen so I can see it better.
okay, good, good, good. I'm glad you
It's
made full screens.
um, okay. Yeah, this one. This is a different program. Yes, this is okay, but it's good. It's fine.
Okay.
Uh, mhm. um, yeah. So, are there any specific questions that you have, Jess?
She said she was a projector, so
Yeah.
along that line.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
yeah, I can share a bit about the projector. So, really, the top three things you want to focus on when you're starting with human design is going to be type, strategy, and authority. So, type describes your aura and the way your aura is designed to function, the way your aura communicates with other people's auras, and it informs your strategy for making your decisions. So, the projector is one of five auric types. This is the broadest category in human design. So we have the projector, the reflector, the manifester, the manifesting generator, and the pure generator. So, any advice moving forward? Okay, great. So, the projector makes up 20% of the population. Your aura is probing and penetrating. So, your energy field, your aura actually penetrates into the auras of others, it projects into the auras of other people. So, you have this unique gift to be able to see things about others and to know things about others without them having told you, right? Just this ability to know things, to see people's like strengths and weaknesses, um, maybe to see if someone is like, not with an aligned partner, or like maybe they look like they're headed down like the wrong path or a negative path, things like this. It can be very easy for the projector to give unsolicited advice because you can see something that someone else might be blind to in their own life, right? And it can be really easy also to fall in love with people's potential. Um, so the most important thing is that you need to be invited to share those insights with people. So your where it says strategy, wait for the invitation down towards the bottom there. Your strategy is how you're designed to move through life. It's part of your decision making process. So you need to receive usually a formal invitation, and there will be a form of recognition. So receiving recognition is built into your aura. Like you're designed to have a need for recognition, right? So it's actually really important for you to surround yourself with people who really see you and see the real you, because it can be very easy for the projector to act from their conditioning in order to receive that recognition from others. And recognizing and acknowledging yourself is also very important. But when it comes to waiting for the invitation as well, you need to be invited to share your insights with someone. And so there will be recognition there as well. Like someone will come to you and say like, "Hey Jess, I really value your insights and your perspective, and can I get some advice from you on something I'm going through?" You've been acknowledged and recognized, and then you have received an invitation to share your insights and share your advice with someone. So in this way, you're actually designed to be a guide for others. You're not really designed for like typical or normal work. Um, you don't have a defined sacral center, which is that second square up from the bottom. So only the generator types, which make up 70% of the population, have that. Oh, cool, great. I'm glad it's sounding accurate for you. Only the generator types have that defined sacral center. So we are designed to have like access to sustainable workforce energy and life force energy. Right? You don't have that. So you need a lot more rest built into your life, into your days, into your weeks, your months, your years, and time where you're just like in play or like having fun. Right. So often the invitations for a projector will come when you're not working. It will come when you're having fun, um, and doing something that is more like play. So, waiting for the invitation when you're, it really applies to four major areas in life as well in terms of making your decisions. So, this is going to be love, relationships, location where you're living, and career. And so, you will receive a formal invitation. So, someone might come to you and say, like, hey, Jess, like, I see you're so knowledgeable in XYZ field, and this is a kind of a perfect example. It's, can I interview you on my podcast, right? Or it will be like, wow, we see how hard you've worked at your job. We want you to come interview at our company. And maybe that company is in another state, right? So you go and interview, you get the job, it feels really aligned for you, and that prompts you to move to another state, right? And then a series of events unfolds that's like really in alignment for you, right? Because you've made the decision in alignment with your strategy and ideally your authority as well. So, a little bit about your inner authority, where it says emotional solar plexus. That triangle on the far right side on the bottom, it's colored in, well, ideally, typically it would be brown, like if we're going on the standard colors of human design. So, but it's that triangle as you're looking at the chart on the far right side. It's pointing to the left. And so 50% of us are defined here. We are considered emotional beings. 50% of the population are not defined. Those are considered truly, human design terms calls them non-emotional beings, but they're really the emotional empaths. So because you're defined here, you have, this is where most of our emotions are generated. So you have, your emotions are generated from within you, and you have an emotional wave. So your moods, your feelings, your emotions, they go up and they go down, and they go up and they go down, and that is normal and natural for you. A big part of the medicine here is to allow and embrace anywhere you're at on the emotional wave. I'm also emotional. I have 5 gates to find. You have only 3 gates to find there. So trust me, I'm a very emotional being, and I'm going through it right now too. So, but we have very big and dramatic emotions usually, but it operates on a wave. So if you ever like have the time and the inkling to like keep a notepad on you, and write down every time your mood or your feelings or your emotions change and put a little timestamp on it. If you do that for like an entire month, you're going to see a very clear pattern of up and down. You don't have to know where the feelings came from, why they're there, what they mean. You just have to surrender to it, allow yourself to feel it, and you'll notice like, the low end is going to be like melancholy, sadness, fear, grief. The high end is when you're just like feeling on top of the world, joyful, excited, exuberant. For me, like if I wake up just feeling down and moody and melancholic, I know within like 1 to 3 days, I'm back on top of the world again. And so, an important thing is like, don't make major decisions when you're in the high end of your wave or the low end of your wave. You want to, essentially, the key for emotional authority, is there's no truth in the now for the emotional authority. So you're not designed to make spontaneous decisions. Um, Maybe you jump into something because you're so excited about it, and then it turns out to be like a terrible idea, right? Like I used to consider myself such a spontaneous person, but I was constantly jumping into things that were like not aligned for me. And there was a lot of like chaos and havoc in my life. And, but the longer you wait with any decision, you want to wait at least overnight. Um, and especially for those four major areas, right, where you've received an invitation, but you're waiting for emotional clarity. And so emotional clarity comes with time, but our nervous system is also there in the emotional center. So the nervous system and the emotions are directly connected. So when you get to emotional clarity, you'll essentially like that invitation to like for the job or whatever will come in and you'll ride out your entire emotional wave. You'll go up about it and you'll go down about it. And then you'll come to like that harmony, that balance, that stillness, which feels like calmness and stillness in the nervous system. And so, one thing that human design tells us is we're not designed to use our minds to make our decisions, but we're constantly conditioned, right? To like just really think about it, really put some thought to it, really think things through, right? And you're defined in the head and ajna at the top, which make up the mind. So, you might be very inclined to make mental decisions. The mind can be an excellent supportive tool for your decision making process. So, let's say you got this job interview, they loved you, you loved them. Um, you're on the fence about it because it means moving to the other side of the country, okay? But what one thing you can do is you can like close your eyes and use your imagination and the mind to mentally say, okay, I'm going to say yes and I'm going to move to the other side of the country. And what does this look like? What does this feel like when you imagine yourself packing up your whole house, maybe getting rid of things, moving across the country, getting a new place, starting this new job? Mentally saying yes and imagining that scenario, notice how the body responds. Notice how the nervous system responds. Does the nervous system get like really agitated and really on edge? Or does the nervous system, it's like just calm down, like all the inner water is coming to a place of stillness and calm. So that's a trick. Like that's kind of a hack that I tuned into a couple years ago, about 3 years ago actually. With the emotional authority around a particular decision I was making. And one thing again, I just want to highlight is that like human design is here for you to experiment with. Like maybe like you're not designed to initiate things. Actually, only the manifestors, which make up 9% of the population, they're the only type designed to initiate something from an internal like creative flow. The rest of us have to respond to something in our outside environment, like an outside stimulus. Um, so the thing is, this is here for you to experiment with. Like maybe there is something you want to initiate. Great, go out and initiate it if you want to, but step back and become the neutral witness and just observe and watch how it plays out. For you, your overall not self theme, which is will come up when we're in our conditioning and not living in alignment with our design. For the projector, it's bitterness. And I like to equate this with resentment, right? So anytime you feel really bitter or resentful around a particular experience or decision in life, that's a chance to reflect back on, okay, where did I not follow my strategy and authority? Maybe I'm trying to force and push and make something happen. Or maybe I jumped into something too soon. I didn't write out my emotional wave. Or maybe like my emotions were really, my nervous system was really ungrounded and uncalm, but because my mind told me this was a good idea, I said yes to it anyways. Or like if you give that unsolicited advice without having received the invitation first, it's going to leave you feeling bitter and resentful as well because you can see what's happening in someone else's life and they're not wanting to listen to you. And then they do stumble and fall and make some mistakes, right? But for them, that was meant to happen, maybe, right? Maybe that's what their soul was calling for. So I'll leave it at that. I know that was a lot, but I'll just leave it there for now so we can maybe move to someone else.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up. Oops. Yeah, I have my my mic on. Just reiterating that we can take another chart if they send it to me. The next one we have, let me get rid of this one. The next one we have is Kevin.
Okay,
This covers all of us. So,
great.
okay.
Okay, so Kevin is a 5-1 emotional manifesting generator. Um, Great. So the manifesting generators, we're kind of like a hybrid type. Um, we have the pure generator, and we have the manifester. By and large, you are a generator type because you have the sacral center defined. So that's the red square in the body graph, sinking up from the bottom. So only the generator types have that center defined, right? So we're designed as like the builders of the earth. We're like the worker bees of the world. We're designed for that like hands-on work. Like I was telling Julie before we started, like I could be so dead tired, um, and maybe I still have like 3 hours of a project to work on, or have a 3 hour drive ahead of me. I can still like generate the energy to put forth to it. Even if I feel like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out, I'm so tired, I can still draw on that energy within me to do whatever I need to do. Um, so you have that as well. So by and large, you're a generator type, so you function as a generator, but you have a little bit of manifester energy like sprinkled in there. So your throat is connected to the sacral center. I don't think you can see my mouse, but it's a black line that goes from gate 20 in the throat to gate 34 in the sacral center. So the throat is connected to one of the motor centers, so that's what brings in the manifester energy. Um, this is the archetype. It's the channel of charisma. It's the archetype of the manifesting generator. I also have this in my chart. So we'll call it Manny Gen for short. So the Manny Gens, we're designed to multitask. We're designed to be busy. Like your energy needs to be busy. Like you need to kind of constantly be doing things. Um, and you're designed to be like a jack of all trades. So whereas the pure generator, they're designed for like single pointed focus, and they're designed for expertise over time. Like the pure generator is designed to focus on one thing, maybe have the one career for like 30, 40, 50 years and become an expert in that field. You are not designed to do that. Like you need to have multiple different like projects on your plate at any given time, multiple different types of work, multiple different places where your energy is flowing, right? So for me, I have like the sound healing, the human design, the other holistic like classes and offerings that I have. And I have multiple different places that I share them and multiple different ways that I share them as well. So we need that variety. If you're doing just one thing, you're going to be out of balance. It's going to lead to like your not self theme is um, frustration and anger. So by and large, frustration from the being a generator type, and anger then comes from the manifestor energy. I'm surprised that's not listed here. I guess they're doing it differently on the free version. So anytime you feel frustration or anger around something, that's a sign that somewhere you're not living in alignment with your design. Um, so, as a manifesting generator, your aura is big and it's open and enveloping. So, there's this openness to your energy. It's probably very easy for you to go out and just like meet people, right? Like for me, within the first week, I'd met so many people. Like I just go to a cafe and I just like someone starts talking to me, right? And I just like make friends very easily. So it's also kind of your aura envelops people. It's almost like an energetic hug, kind of. And there's a quality to the aura that is magnetic. So your strategy is wait to respond. I'm surprised that's also not listed here in the information in your chart, but your strategy is wait to respond and inform before taking action. So first of all, you're designed to respond to a stimulus in your outside environment. So kind of like when I was talking earlier about not moving to Portland because that was just an inner desire of mine and nothing outside me was pulling me there. Um, you have an internal creative flow from that manifestor energy, but it's important not to take action from that place. Like when you want to like manifest in terms of new age manifesting, like call something forth into your life, you can set your idea, set your intention, start speaking about it and sharing with people since your throat is defined, and wait. Wait for something to show up in your outer environment for you to respond to. So, this is a bit different than the projector waiting for the invitation. For you, it's a broader category. This could be a friend saying to you, like, hey, have you thought of starting a podcast? Like, I think that'd be great for you, right? If that was aligned with your authority, then that's the time to start your podcast. Or someone says like, "Hey, have you considered like?" Someone said to me like, "Have you considered doing your yoga teacher training in India?" You know, like I did that, and that was something for me to respond to be like, "Oh, huh, let me consider India." Um, So you also have emotional authority. You're defined in the solar plexus, that brown triangle on the far right. So you're also not designed for spontaneous decisions. And this emotional authority is a challenging one. It's said that we can only reach 80% clarity with the emotional authority. So it's something to just experiment with, get to know your emotional wave, get to know the highs and lows and what that pattern looks like for you. Um, Tuning into, again, like how the nervous system feels around any particular decision. But this is also a little more complex for the generator types because you have the sacral center defined. The sacral is like the gut of the body, and it responds in the now moment to yes and no questions. So, first of all, you're designed for yes and no questions, even like when getting to know someone. Um, in the sacral center responds with guttural sounds. So, it's uh huh for yes and for no. Or it could be close up, like mm, uh-huh. So like if I were to ask you a series of yes and no questions, very simple ones, and have you erase the words yes and no from your vocabulary and you're just responding with those guttural sounds, it's going to come very quickly. And now moment. The sacral is like now moment responding, right? So when someone suggests to you like, hey, have you thought of starting a podcast, or have you thought of heard, or have you considered like um, traveling to Switzerland or something, your sacral center will immediately either say or right? And so you'll get that immediate response in the sacral, in the gut of the body. Over time, you'll start to actually feel it. Like there's a nonverbal response, like if someone sends you a text message inviting you to dinner. Maybe you get a nonverbal response. To me, a sacral nonverbal yes feels like expansion, like within my body, and a sacral no feels like constriction within my body. So, again, experimenting with this is key. But you'll get that immediate sacral response, and you still want to wait and write out this wave, right? So, I had someone a couple years ago invite me to speak on like an online interview thing about human design. And she had had a reading with me and she just loved my work. She was like just a big cheerleader for me. And when she invited me, I was like, wow, that feels like so exciting. That feels super aligned in this moment. But let me feel into it for a couple of days and then confirm with you. Right. So it's like, let me just take a couple days to write out my emotional wave and make sure it's still a yes. Oftentimes, it will be the same answer that you get from your first sacral response, but also maybe you were just in the high end of your wave and that overrode the sacral response. So, again, just the key is not making spontaneous decisions and just waiting over time to make your decisions. So I can't see, this picture is taking up the whole screen for me, so I can't see if there's any other questions like coming up around this for Kevin.
Not a whole lot. Let's see.
Okay,
That's true of me. That's
okay,
what
great,
Kevin says. Okay.
great.
So do you have any questions for her, Kevin? Oh,
One thing I
okay.
also recommend for people is like go online. Okay, perfect, great. Like go online and look up your auric type. Look up podcasts. Look up YouTube channels. Books, maybe if that's your preferred method. Of course, you still want to make sure it's like a reputable source, but the more you pull from different sources, there's so many podcasts out there. I love one called That Projector Life. It's made by a projector for projectors. She's not making new episodes anymore, but I love the way she describes the system, and it's very insightful. But just learn more about your auric type, right? Like, for Jess, the projector, for Kevin, the manifesting generator, learn more about how your energy, your aura is designed to function, right? And then you can also look up the strategy. Go online and look up Manny-Gen strategy, right? Strategy is the same for each type. And then look up the emotional authority, or if you have a different type of authority, look that up. So starting there and just pulling from multiple sources is going to really expand your awareness.
Okay. Question at this point. Oops. Not the one I wanted to pull up, but okay, it is. And I pulled up one think is Dawn's. I hope it is. I hope I'm not just taking another of, oh, I might have. Hold on, let me see what I've got.
Oh,
I'll
so
pull it.
that website you have listed, there's no S. It's actually genetic matrix.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to put the S in there. I corrected it online, so sorry about that.
Okay.
So it's genetic matrix, and Jess did put that as well. I was on there trying to do my free chart, and I've got a mess. They don't like the name of the city, and
Hmm.
they think I should be in Louisville, but no.
You can probably just go to the state and still click the arrow and choose a different state.
Well, I tried to do it. Arrow won't let me get into it. It's very strange. This is the second
You can try a
genetic
different website.
matrix I pulled up.
You can just type in Google or wherever your search engine is, like for human design chart, free human design chart.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost positive I brought up the wrong one for Dawn. Yeah, I did. I gotta find another one. Oh, you're having problems too? So just try, Katie, try and go ahead and do the Google search and find the right one. Yeah, I thought I changed your um dang it. I thought I got the right one for you, Dawn, but it doesn't look like I did. Because I think I did get it. I really enjoy the De Luna Human Design podcast. Oh, okay. So
Hmm.
thanks for that. I'll pull that up. For the city, just type in a few letters. When I did, it pulled up West Louisville or Louisville. Mine is St. Louis. I put the ST in first and they didn't get it. Oh, they
You
went to
can
St.
spell
Cloud.
saint. Try
Hmm?
spelling out saint.
Oh, okay.
St. Louis,
Thank
yeah.
you. I didn't think of that. I'm with you there, and I think Don, I got the wrong one for you. I'm going to pull yours up one more time, see if I can save it. Yeah, one more time. So yeah, Don's came out as oh, okay. All right. Now I can see the difference. Okay, let me see which one I pulled up. Because you got 15 and I did 13, so okay. I got it under a JPEG. I'm trying to change his PDF into a picture so it pulls up. Okay, let me see if I can, because I pulled up Kevin's for Don's. That's not going to work. Okay, get this down. Pull up one more thing. So we've talked about projector and emotional manifestor generators. What is the largest type? The one with the most people in it? Is that the
Um,
manifestor generator, or is that?
no, the pure generator is 37%. The manifesting generator is 33%. Projectors 20%. Manifestor 9%. Reflectors are 1%.
And so, and the reflector, what is so special about the reflectors?
The
Because they're only
reflectors have
1%.
every center open or undefined, so none of the centers are colored in. They don't have any defined channels. So they're truly designed to reflect back the quality or state of their environment or their community. Their auras are protective, though. They're sampling, so they kind of go around just sampling energy everywhere they go. Their environment is very important for them. And um, yeah, but they have this protection mechanism, whereas like so they're so open, but they're not going to be like taken down by the energy around them. Whereas with the projector aura is actually very absorbing. So with a projector aura, you're actually designed to absorb a lot more energy around you. Even if you were a very defined projector, you could be defined in like eight eight of the centers, right? Everything but the sacral, as a projector, and you would still absorb a lot of energy from others because that's just how the aura functions.
Okay. I did take a picture, but now I've got to. Thank you for that, Harley. Sorry, trying to get this. Get you one more chart, and that's Dawn's chart. Share. Um,
And it just
email.
how
Go ahead.
much more time do we have?
We have a 24 minutes.
Oh, okay, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, it's
Okay.
okay. It's after 10 o'clock for me, so it's late.
Right. Sorry that it's so late. Because you're what, 12 and a half hours, or was
Yeah,
it
well,
longer than that?
it's 10:06 p.m. right now here.
Oh, okay. And a half hours. Yeah. So we just have a half hour. I hope that's not going to keep you too long. We'll do the one more chart. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just going to go send it. Okay. Now I'll have to pull it up on my email. No, thank you, Jess. I'm grateful. Oh, I love this question. There you go. This is from Harley.
Mhm. Yeah, so the incarnation cross is essentially, it's kind of like your purpose in this life. And I'm a little hesitant to even use that word because we like to glamorize, like, what is my purpose in life, and over like sensationalize it, I think. But it is the way your energy is here to have an impact in the world. So we have 192 different incarnation crosses and up to four variations of each one. So there's a lot of incarnation crosses. What I would recommend is you look at your incarnation cross, whatever it says it is, and type it in exactly in a search engine. And you'll come across like different sources to read about what it means. It's going to take your top four gates. So as you're looking at the chart, there's often like called two columns of numbers on both sides of the body graph. You've got the black numbers on the right and the red numbers on the left. This lists all of your gate activations. So every number in black, the first number is the gate. The decimal is the line. So there's 6 lines in every gate. We're getting a little complex now. There's 6 lines in every gate, which dictates how that gate shows up for you. So we're getting into more subtle and finer nuances within the energy field. So every line, like if you're like that first chart that was pulled up was a little more difficult to read because the colors were not standard. People are shifting things and creating their own charts within their own programs that are using different colors from the original source. So typically, every gate that has a black line coming out of it, you find that gate listed on the right side in the black squares. These are your conscious energies. They're energies that you're consciously aware of, things you know about yourself. On the left side, the red column of squares, this is called the design. These are your unconscious energies. So every line in the body graph, every gate that has a red line coming out of it, you find that gate number listed on the red squares, right? So this also correlates to the astrology. You'll see the planetary symbol for all of the planets. Um, so this is takes the location of the planets based on the time you were born. That imprinted you with your conscious energies on the personality side. Exactly 3 months or 88 days prior to your birth was when you were imprinted with your unconscious energies on the design, so the red squares. Um, that is when it is believed that the soul enters the body by many different belief systems. So that imprinted you with your unconscious energies. So at the very top, you have the sun and then the earth sign. Your sun sign Your conscious sun sign, especially, brings in close to 70% of your imprint. But when we look at the top four, we look at the conscious sun over the conscious earth, and then the unconscious sun over the unconscious earth. It's those four gates that make up your incarnation cross. So it's always going to, if your chart lists the numbers next to it, um, for example, mine is the lifting across of duality, the first version. There's four versions of that one. So for me, it looks like 20 over 34, and then 30 over 41, I believe. Um, yeah, I need to double check my chart, but it's essentially the channel of kids. It's actually no, it's 3940, I think. Um, so I'm gonna check that to be accurate. Um, but it has to be listed in that exact order, and then that gives you your incarnation cross. So, for example, for myself, it's okay. Yeah. So I got it wrong. Mine is 20 over 34 and then 37 over 40. It's the channel of charisma over the channel of community for myself. So, what this means is for me, I'm here to create change in the community or the tribe. And I'm here to basically see a different way of doing things and offer that up to the community and say, hey, we could be doing things this way. But then my responsibility is to step back and just watch and witness and see if the tribe or the community chooses to implement those things. Right. I'm also here to kind of like get the ball rolling on things and like be able to like kind of not initiate like a manifester, but like to get things happening, get things done within the community. So I've always been very driven by community. I actually really have spent a lot of time, especially in my late 20s, early 30s, being very interested in intentional community. I actually lived in Costa Rica for 2.5 years and got to see a lot of different eco villages and intentional communities there, as well as in Austin. Um, so having that connection with community, then having the channel of charisma as part of my incarnation cross, like I'm here to see that, and I'm here also to like do this back and forth dance of like finding my place in the tribe and also looking for like my community where I feel most at home, where I feel like I fit in most, seeking my part in the whole. And when I first learned about my incarnation cross, I thought like, no way, is that my destiny, my purpose? Like that can't be. And like it sounds so basic type of thing. And then after a couple months, I was like reflecting on my travels and journey in Costa Rica. I was very nomadic. I backpacked around the country the first year I was there, um, and lived in like so many different places. But I realized like, whoa, like that is how my energy has has an impact. Like I'll stay with different people. I did a lot of volunteer work. And yeah, I will just see like, oh wow, there's a more efficient way of doing something, and like let me offer this up. um, it happens a lot in the workplace, especially working like back of house in a spa at a resort. There's always things that I'm just like, well, this is so inefficient, like let's do things differently, let's have a better system for this. So it's just naturally your incarnation cross is going to happen whether you're aware of it or not. But the more you live in alignment with your design, the more your incarnation cross just kind of blossoms and blooms through you.
And I've been working on this and working on this, and nothing is coming up. And of all people, I wanted you to read Don, because I don't think he's had his done. Um, actually, I'm going to forward this to you. Can you pull up your email on? It'd probably be the best way. Nobody will be able to see it, but at least you'll get an understand. Okay. Let me forward his email to you so that you get it directly from him. Okay. Move forward. And it's being sent. Okay. When in doubt, go direct, right? It's easier that way. Okay. Thank you for your explanation. Yeah, I saw the JPEG, but it didn't work for me. So because how large it is, it's compressing it. Phoenix, but I don't know what that means. What are
Okay.
you? Oh, go ahead.
She was talking about her incarnation cross. So again, I
Oh,
just recommend that you type in your incarnation cross in a search engine. Type it in exactly verbatim as it says, and then like read about it. So I have Dawn's chart.
okay.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. So Dawn is a pure generator um,
No.
with sexual authority. So Um, so for Dawn, you are designed to be like single pointed focus, right? Like you're designed for expertise. You're designed to be an expert in your field. I would be curious as to like, what type of career you've had in your life, what you did slash do for work, um, and if that was something that lasted like long term for you. Um, your aura, again, same generator or manifesting generator, the aura is open and enveloping and magnetic. So, again, your strategy is wait to respond. So, um, you're waiting for some outside stimulus to respond to, and from there, like your authority is sacral. So your emotional center is open, so you're truly an emotional empath. Like you're going to feel the moods, the feelings, the emotions of other people. You might feel it as if they're yours. um, and when it comes to making your decisions like that, you're designed for now moment decisions. So when, like, if someone, let's say someone invites you on a camping trip in a couple of weeks, right, the moment that invitation comes in, that's something for you to respond to, right? Your sacral center will either expand and say, uh-huh, that sounds great, let's do it, or it will contract and be like, nope, that's not right for me, like, uh-uh. And your responses to yes and no questions like will be pretty much uh-huh for yes and uh-uh for no. Mm-mm. For the last chart we looked at, because I think it was Kevin had the 2034, the channel of charisma. Sometimes because we're designed to be extra busy because you have that channel, so sometimes those responses can be really so fast that we bypass the sacral response. Like it might look like a yep, okay, nope, like that could just be so fast, it's faster than uh-huh and uh-uh, right? But for any like of the sacral beings, so anyone who's a generator or manifesting generator, I love to recommend like just erasing the words yes and no from your vocabulary and just listening to your natural response. And maybe you notice you already do that a lot. You say like uh-huh or uh-uh, or just start noticing like how you use like that terminology, because that is literally, that guttural response is your sacral center telling you what you have the energy for and what you don't have the energy for. But in the moment, like your sacral might light up and say, uh huh, yep, like get me out of here, take me to the forest, let's go on this camping trip. But you're also defined in the head and ajna. The top two centers are defined for you. So likely you're very busy in your head. You think about the future and the past a lot and not so much the present. Um, but you may be more inclined to make the mental decisions. But so maybe the sacral lights up and it's like a clear yes in the moment in the sacral center that you need to go on this camping trip. But then the mind comes in and the conditioning comes in and it's like, oh, but you should do this. You have XYZ responsibilities and bills to pay and all these things and da 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 da. And your mind like talks you out of going. Right. And then maybe that weekend rolls around and you're like, doing all the things, the responsible things or whatever that you felt like you should do. But then you get really frustrated. You see like the photos of the friends who went camping and you really wish you would have been there. Like now you're exhausted and feeling burnt out and like you just like felt like you should have been there and should have had that break and that vacation, right? Um, so yeah, just starting to get to know your sacral response. You can have anyone put you down and ask you a series of yes and no questions. Like I go through a series of really easy yes and no questions in my readings with generator types. Things like, and I tell them like, erase the words yes and no. Only use uh-huh for yes and uh-uh for no, right? So things like, is your name Dawn? Do you live in California? Are you wearing shoes right now? Are you wearing glasses? Do you have tattoos? Do you have purple hair? Like things that are very easy and basic, right? So, because we have to go through a bit of a deconditioning process to like release the mind, right? The mind has to think, oh, wait, don't say yes, don't say no, right? But then once we get into a habit, like you'll feel the sacral just responds immediately and you don't have to think. It's like the wisdom of the body, because that's what the authority really is it's the wisdom of the body telling you what's right and wrong for you with any decision you have to make. So it takes time and practice, of course, to like start implementing this. But when you start noticing, like when you're invited to something or something else comes to you for you to like respond to, notice how the sacral center responds. And the more you decide to start following it, the more it's going to teach you. And even if you don't follow it, again, the biggest key is like becoming the neutral witness, just learning to observe and witness. I walk people through a meditation in the beginning of my readings to be able to tap into that state of the neutral witness, so that they understand like stepping into that concept. And I imagine maybe a lot of you already do this, but starting to observe. So maybe you get a sacral yes, but you say no, right? Then sit back and observe and watch how it plays out. Maybe you get a sacral no, but you say yes anyways. Step back and observe. Most likely, like your not self theme is frustration. So most likely, like also if you get a sacral no, but you say yes, or if you decide like, oh, I have something I want to initiate and create from an internal creative flow, um, go initiate it, but then step back and watch. Most likely, if you try to initiate something, it's either going to fail or it will happen, but not the way you want. So it will leave you feeling very frustrated, right? So frustration is a key, and for you to like tune into, to be like, okay, where am I trying to force something? Where did I not listen to my sacral response? Where did I not wait for something to respond to? So where am I not following strategy or authority? Um, So yeah, I guess I'm wondering if there's. Okay, I'll come back to the screen. I had to be on another screen now. So
Okay.
yeah, if you have any questions from Dawn
Well,
around.
Don is telling you his careers:
Oh,
engineer, attorney, real estate investor, psychic medium. You can,
okay. So
he's
there's
a
a lot. Sounds like a Manny Gen.
tarot reader. Um, he's on live a lot or twice a week, and he does readings. He does financial tarot readings. He does, yeah, he does a whole lot of things. So yeah, he's extremely busy. I tell him he's about at 24 hats by now. Yeah.
uh,
So,
and does I'm curious, Dawn, like, do you feel like a deep level of satisfaction with any or all of those hats that you wear?
you'll get
Like
it.
we're any of the sacral beings, any of the generator types, we're designed to do what we love. We're designed to do what we're passionate about. Right? We have that sacral energy. It's like Energizer Bunny energy. When you do what you love to do, it's like your sacral center turns on and gives you this never-ending well of energy to do that thing. Like I'm designed to multitask. I'm designed to be very busy and to do things very quickly as a managen. But if I had a job sitting at a desk somewhere in a cubicle or something for like 40 hours a week doing one thing, I would be miserable and I would be so drained and depleted of my life force energy, right? But I'm designed to have sustainable access to life force energy, to workforce energy, but if I'm not doing something that lights me up, something that I love, I'm drained, right? So by me, any generator, by when you do what you love, you're using your energy in the most efficient way possible. And from that place, that's how you're designed to best support the collective. It's like you following what you love, what lights you up, what you're passionate about. Mm. Okay, so your passion is mediumship and writing. Never completely satisfied, though, always wanting something more. Okay. Could be like other
Yeah.
aspects of the chart or just soul contracts and such. Um, and you're taking on far more projects than you can do at any given time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so pay attention to also like how your energy feels. Like if you feel drained doing one of those things, or overall if you feel burnt out. Um, Right. So taking time to really just like follow what is your passion? What lights you up the most? And even if it's like a hobby, right? That's not work, by you just following your alignment, following what lights up your sacral center, just like with the projectors when they're doing something that's just fun and play, that's for them, right? Not when they're working. So similar thing, just like following your passions, following what lights you up, that will lead to like the right things coming to you for you to respond to.
I hope that helps all of you. Harley, we didn't get a chance to get to yours. It is 10:25 p.m. Echo's time, and so it's late for her. And you'll probably be up at the crack of dawn tomorrow.
I
Are
don't know.
you?
I've been
Is that what
in
you
quite a
normally
bit. I don't know. I'm out of bed by like 8 or 9. Usually, I wake up around 6 or 7, but it just depends. The energies are like very different here. So
do? Oh, good, good, good. Well, I hope this has helped you today too. I mean, you've helped us and brought us a lot of great information. So we really appreciate that. But I hope the energy of the people coming in and chatting with you helped you as well.
yeah, beautiful. And yeah, I'd love to like leave my info. I'm not sure if I can add to the chat or not. It's my first time on this platform. Um,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and um, I was going to say, if you wanted to put in the private chat what you wanted to say to everybody,
okay,
I will
so
copy that, the private chat. Can you see it? Yeah, you're typing.
yes.
Go ahead and put what you want in that, and then I will copy it and put it in the chat so that everybody can see it.
Okay, so I'm putting
So,
my website here. So I am also, I go through a season of like not working for a couple months over the summer after things are really busy in the spring in Sedona, but I am slowly moving into getting back to work. So I will be available soon for like online readings. So I do hour-long readings on human design, so I do them via Zoom when I'm at a distance. The Zoom call is recorded, and then I also, for any private reading, I do a typed detailed report. It's about 12 to 14 pages on average, so it will go over a lot of information. And I really teach people, like we tapped into it a bit today, but I teach people how to decode the body graph, how to understand the language and the terminology of human design, how to take this information and then research further on your own. So you can contact me there through the website. I have several different offerings, and I will have my next online program coming up in October. And it is a program for moms to teach moms how to understand their children through the lens of human design and raise them in alignment with their design and instill the aspects and energies of their design in them. Um, so, and it's mostly, I also do family readings, which will include the dads too, but I'm passionate about women's circles and working with women. So that's why this focus is currently for moms. But yeah, I do, my private readings are 150 for a reading. And for anyone like here on this call, I'd be happy to offer that at 125, a little discount. But feel free to reach out to me if that is of interest to you. You can also find me, let's see, Instagram is, everything is basically Echo Forest Love. So Instagram is Echo Forest Love. I do have a YouTube channel, also Echo Forest Love. It's not very updated, at least since I left the States. But yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, feel free. I have quite a bit that I have shared on Instagram, just about human design and sound healing.
do you have any dates for your mother's workshop?
The dates are not set, but it's going to be for 4 weeks in October. And
So
also
basically, all
via Zoom.
4 weeks. What? I'm sorry.
It'll be online via Zoom,
Okay.
so people can tune in from anywhere. And then they also get like the same, like a copy of the body graph, the personalized report that's about like 12 to 14 pages for like themselves, for the moms, and for each of your children. Um, and so this one will be a little bit differently. What I'm planning to do is have kind of like the lectures and slideshows pre-recorded, and then the live calls. They're an hour and a half each. The live calls are will be just like mostly Q&A to go over like that week's lesson.
Oh, wow. It sounds pretty good. I know
Yes.
Jess has a few children,
Oh, beautiful.
three, I think, two or three. I
Nice.
get my numbers mixed up sometimes. Um, but thank you so much, Echo, for coming in. And this is Echo Force, everyone. I know I haven't said it enough, but on the description, I do have um, I think I have your email address and your website address too. So most of the people on know that I keep all the information in the description. If I need to add to it, I will add to the description when I post it in YouTube. And there is a new channel for me. It is communication and connections. So I do have that on YouTube. It should be up and running by next time. I did post last week's interview with Tara. I was going to say her whole name, but Tara is on there already, and I will put echoes on there immediately as well. So if you need anything on that, you can watch it directly on that channel, Communication and Connections. I would really appreciate you guys if you could go there, like, subscribe, and all of that. It would be very helpful to build the numbers up there. I have to have at least 100 to go live, I think, so please help me out. And thank you so much, Echo. I know it's been crazy energy, but like I said, as long as we can send you love and healing for what you're going through, and I know all of us have expressed that for you. So let us know how you're doing. Just every once in a while, we'd love to see you. I know I've connected with you on Facebook, so any updates I'll see. So appreciate you very much. And if you can hold on just a minute, I'll say goodbye to everybody. Please remember that tonight, tomorrow, through Sunday, there should be somebody on if you have any questions or, if you have any questions, want a reading. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Lovely to meet you all. Namaste.
And just a second. I'm going to give you this.
So when I started on this healing journey about 2 years ago,